It is a night of the full moon, and under the sublime cool light of the moon shining silently in the dark sky above, a black-headed carpenter ant worker is calmly feeding on the sweet sugary crystals of cane sugar. It cannot chew or ingest solid food particles due to filter apparatus present in its mouth. So it is using its labium, a touch-like structure, and maxillae to lap up the thin layer of sugary liquid from the surface of the white sugar crystals. These black-headed carpenter ants are very fond of these sugar crystals, and this minor carpenter ant worker out here is calmly gulping in the tasty fluid from the surface of the sugar crystals with great pleasure. But unbeknownst to this carpenter ant worker, something dark and ugly is slowly sliding towards the carpenter ant. And soon, it's a vacation time for the ant watcher. And for the ant watcher, going back to his paternal home located in a small town within this beautiful hilly region has always been a matter of great happiness. As the panoramic view of the hills passes by his side as he drives forward towards his home, the ant watcher's mind is flooded with memories of his childhood. And yes, of course, with the memories of different kinds of ants found out here. Back home, the ant watcher has so many things to do, but one of them that the ant watcher never misses is to watch ants. There are so many ants out here to watch. However, among all of these ants, the ant watcher enjoys watching these beautiful black-headed carpenter ants. Just look how cute and beautiful these ants are. The one on the left here with big head and mandibles is the major or the soldier, and the one on the right is the minor worker ant. Look how quiet and calm these two are. They are awesome, aren't they? And you know what? These ants live right here. That is on the terrace of the ant watcher's paternal home. Up here in the hills, food is scarce. And out here, the black-headed carpenter ants do not miss any opportunity to gather food. They are quick in catching any prey that they find before them. Here, a black-headed minor worker has caught a mosquito. With its sharp mandibles, it is cutting deep into the flesh of the poor mosquito. The life story of this mosquito is over, and now it is just a lump of a meaty food to be carried back home. Whenever he is back out here, the ant watcher always feeds these ants with various food items. Today, the ant watcher has offered these ants the food that they love the most, and that is the sugary sweet cane sugar crystals. A lone black-headed carpenter ant minor worker is calmly feeding on the sugar crystals offered by the ant watcher. It is so much occupied in feeding on the tasty sugar crystals that it is oblivious to anything going around him. After watching the ant feeding on the sugar crystals for some time, the ant watcher decides to leave her in peace and leaves the place. Hours roll by. That night, when the ant watcher returns to the spot, he finds that the carpenter ant worker is not alone, but it has now been joined by many of its sisters who are all busy feeding on the sweet sugar crystals. But then, from one of the corners, the ant watcher sees something dark and fat sliding towards the ants. It's a slug, a dark, fat, black-colored slug. Maybe the sweet smell of the cane sugar has attracted it to this place. Slowly and silently, it is sliding straight towards the place where the ants are feeding on the sugar crystals. And soon it is on top of one of the lump of sugar crystals as if it is claiming them as its own. The ants who are feeding on these sugar crystals are just confused. They don't know whether to attack or flee from this strange thing in front of them. The slug, on its part, is quick to maneuver its flexible body skillfully and hide its delicate head inside its body. And then, as if claiming the whole sugar crystals, which in fact is actually harmful for it, as it can cause its death due to osmosis, the dark slug tugs a big pile of sugar crystals on one side of its curvy body, as if greedily collecting the sugar crystals for itself. Then it goes further and becomes motionless by the side of a big chunk of sugar crystals. The carpenter ants are confused at first. They don't know what to do, but soon the temptation to feed on the sweet sugar crystals in front of them is so great that some ants, irrespective of their fear and confusion, starts feeding on the sugar crystals directly from the pile of sugar crystals which are attached to the body of the slug itself. However, the presence of the slug is still causing great discomfort and fear among ants. So, one of the workers comes forward and sprays acid on the keel or tail end of the slug, which causes the slug to move forward. However, soon it again slowly approaches the group of ants, feeding on the sugar crystals a few inches away. To the surprise of the ant watcher, this time one brave ant worker comes forward and starts drinking sweet sugar fluid left over from the side of the body of the dark slug. And at one instant, it also appears as if the ant is feeding from the mouth of the dark slug itself. However, as the slug continues to move forward towards the precious sugar crystals, the ant starts becoming more and more restless, and one of them attacks the dark slug with its mandibles. But the thick protective mucus totally shields the slug from the ant's attack. The poor ant is left busy cleaning the bitter sticky slug mucus from its mandibles for a long time. The failure of the ant's attack emboldens the dark slug. It is seen acting more confidently, but by this time it appears that the ants have had enough. One of them comes forward and attacks the dark slug. A mild acid spray at first has little effect on the dark slug, but a more deadly second acid spray causes the dark slug to turn and twitch with pain caused by the burn of the acid on its delicate face. It is seen nursing its wounds, trying to heal the acid burn with its mouth fluid. But when the burn from the formic acid spray of the ant refuses to subside, the dark slug hurriedly slides away and disappears in the darkness. With the dark slug gone, the black-headed carpenter ants once again starts to feed on the sweet sugar crystals peacefully. With its mouth fluid, but when the burn from the formic acid